Good evening and good morning, everyone. Now, today's session is on XPath mastery for Selenium test automation. Okay. Now, over here, before we get going with our session, let us see what is the agenda of our today's session. We will try to understand what is Selenium. Is it a community, or it is a tool, or it is a server, or what it is actually, and how the whole industry is getting benefited by it. Okay, even though it is in whatever shape, like whether it is paid or it is licensed tool, these all things you will get to know. Now, thereafter, we will quickly jump onto one of the topic, that is the XPath. We will try to introduce you. How do we find the web elements on the web pages? Elements that exist on the websites, those are known as web elements. To identify those web elements, we use XPath. So we'll try to understand about XPath also, and it is wonderful way. Here you will become total master with XPath and the locators concept, because I have seen people struggling in the industry to locate the web elements. And here we give you bunch of tips, techniques, and we equip you with all the very much most important, the concepts of the locators. Okay. The next thing we will try to understand what is XML document. We'll try to understand what is the benefit of XPath and what are the syntaxes and the terminologies that we use, and the type of XPaths that we have, and we'll look into some XPath functions as well. Okay, so let's get started with Selenium. First of all, when I say Selenium, what it is, actually, whatever the manual activities these manual test engineers do, to mimic that activities, to do those same activities without any human interference. Okay, like say, for example, we have one registration form over here. On this registration form, we have to fill username, password, name component, address, country, email, our gender, and the language also we have to select. After that, we have provided all the mandatory attributes. We have to click on the submit button. Then, okay, one confirmation message appears that says that your form, your registration has been successfully made. Okay, thanks for submitting your form. With the help of that confirmation message, we try to understand that, okay, this activity has been done. Okay, so within a day, how many registration you can do manually? It will take a lot of time for you to do manual efforts. Let me give you my own example. When I was working in AY, there actually we were trying to provide an overlap in US time, in the night time. In the morning, actually, we had a call with our manager from US. It was around 4 o'clock in the morning. And he said that tomorrow when we in US, our team will be starting hefty testing. Okay, very heavy testing we'll be doing. Lot of data is required. So do try to create a registration. Please create 200 registrations for entire new users with new email IDs. So these people who were manual test engineers, they started doing, they were 3 people. So they started doing right from morning 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock only they started doing. In the afternoon time, they came to me and they said, boss, can like we thought that with 3 people would be very much like okay, but he gave the task to only 1 people, but still we are 3 and we are not able to complete. This is afternoon and we have not been to lunch also. This is afternoon. So can you also give yours 1 or 2 hours of time to do the registration? Then I said that, boss, we already have a script for this. We already, whatever these all techniques, whatever these steps that you are doing, okay, continuously one after the other, okay, with new set of data, we already have created each and every step in the form of script. And you just have to go and click on the green button. Your script will run. And once your script runs, you just give invocation count is equal to 200. Your like rest, whatever registrations you want, 200 registrations, it can be done within 1 hour of the script run. Within 1 hour, and you can go ahead, you can go for tea, you can go for coffee, you can go for lunch, wherever you want to go. In the evening, this data will be within half an hour, 1 hour, this data will be ready. Why you are creating everything using manual effort? So then they got to know, and we just ran one of the script. It took around 45 minutes to create 200 registrations, and we were through it. And From 7 o'clock till 1 o'clock, they had done only around 50 registrations. So this much time we are saving, plus whatever the manual interventions also we do, that also is not required. So whatever the task they were doing, actually that was kind of boring, monotonous task. It was tedious, and lot of time also it was consuming. And sometimes you might have incorrectly you might have counted that, like how many registrations you have done. So there could be errors, there could be mistakes, a lot of issues can come in manual activities. But now let's see to this how we can get along this manual testing activity using automation. Okay, actually in automation what it does is you just have to write the script, which will take a little bit of time in the initial phase. And once you have written the script, after that you just have to execute the script, and eventually after the execution a report will be published to your email, or a report will be published in Jira. Okay, wherever you want, a report will be auto generated. You can come on to that time, you can just have a look at the report, and you can verify if everything is correct or not. That's what every business wants. Every business. So right now I'm working for one of the oldest in Sweden, one of the oldest, very large network of telecommunication domain service. Like in India, we have Airtel, we have Jio, like that. So there in Sweden, we have one of the very big service provider is there. So there also what we do is we try to generate the reports for those business we have seen, the billing, the invoicing part, and those all things that we have to do. These all things are very much important. But for them, once they have got to know about the automation capabilities, they have reduced certain number of manual test engineers. So these manual test engineers are now used for the validation of the reports that we generate after our automation scripts. And that actually takes 15 minutes or 10 minutes of time of them. There's okay. So this is how automation thing has helped in my case. And this has been helping in so many other cases. I've worked for in McKinsey project. I've worked for Bank of America, Bubble Room projects, Odyssey project. And I've also worked on different domains. I have seen that how much value this automation testing is providing. We are not dependent upon the several resources and paying rent for all of those resources. Not the rent, like we have to pay salary to those people. And the type of investments that we are doing, we might not have a very good output, quality output. Okay. So you see, our automation scripts are faster in execution, they are more accurate, and it requires very less investment in human resource. So out of like whatever the job can be done manually, okay, by 4-5 resources, that can also be done by one automation tool. Okay, here I'm not considering automation resource, because one automation resource or two automation resource, these resources can go ahead and do the scripting part. This only the scripting part little bit takes time in the initial phase. And once the script is ready for 4-5 years, you are going to just sit and relax, because the reports are getting generated every day. Your scripts will be running, and you'll be able to get frequent reports. So you'll be able to have this machine, actually automatic machine, this automation machine will be working even when you will be sleeping. So this is more reliable. So let's go ahead and see to this tool that we are going to learn. This is very famous tool in the market because it is freeware. Free means free, ware means software. Okay, whenever I say software, apps, applications, product, project, tools, these all have the same meaning, that is applications. So when I say tools, product, or software, these all are applications only. Selenium is actually a community, and in this community, one type of tool is there, that is Webdriver. So Selenium has very good support. You see, Selenium actually works with different programming languages. Most famous is Java, then Python, C#. It is not in the chronology. I mean to say that most famous is Java. Also, it is famous with Python, C#, PHP, Ruby, Perl, JavaScript. It works with every language. Most of the language which are there in the market, it works with that. And you just see, you might be confused over here. if it is with Java or if it is with Python, which language we should learn. Don't worry, I'll try to give you answer for that as well. You just have a look that it works with other operating systems also. Safari, Chrome, Firefox, Opera, and Microsoft Edge. How many browsers also it is working with? Okay, how many operating systems it is working with? Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android. So it has vast support because it has binding. It has binding means it has been designed in such a way that Selenium has different set of libraries for Java. Selenium has different set of libraries for Python. Okay, it is a library. So it's very easy thing. Okay, now you might be thinking there must be certain disadvantages to these tools also. Okay, so let's talk about the disadvantages. Okay, inbuilt reporting functionalities are not there in Selenium. So what we can do? We can take help of certain external abilities. We can induce, we can fuse, we can introduce those external jars in our Selenium project, and we can use that reporting functionality. Example is extent reports. Even when you will be studying one of the topic that is test ng, test next generation in Selenium, automatically it generates HTML type of reports. Okay, now this point was actually true before 4 years. Okay, before 4 years past, this point was actually a disadvantage that it used to take it was actually difficult to set up and use, but now it only takes few moments of time, and that moment is not half a day. That moment is actually a moment. Okay, within 10 minutes or 5 minutes you will be able to start everything, or not even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just consider 10 minutes. Okay, that's fine. Now that this has also become an advantage. One of the disadvantage that we have is it only supports web type of application. But being a manual test engineer, or being newbies, or say for example you are fresher, you're coming into the industry, you tell me most of the time which application do you use? It's a web application, correct? And see, even though if it seems to be disadvantage, you can add certain jars of the applications inside the Selenium project, which works with the desktop applications, and you can work with that as well. So where is the disadvantage? It seems like it has a limited support for image based testing. So, but that is a thing of future right now. And even these all things will be induced in Selenium in near future. So how much of advantage we have? First of all, it is open source. Open means it is available to everyone. No need to give any money for this. Okay. Now it also supports multiple programming languages. It also supports multiple operating systems. Almost every operating system it works with. Okay. It supports multiple browsers. It helps us in running 3 to 5. Okay. 2 to 5 test scripts parallelly. You can, how much time you can save. It is not like one test script is running in one time, thereafter once it is executed then only second one will run. No, you can run at least if you have a good space in your laptop, you can run 5 scripts parallelly. Although, like, even though if it is not advised, we can run 2 to 3 scripts parallelly, and it does not hamper any of the reports. How much time we are going to save? So in my own project right now in my company, the talk is going on like, can't we run our scripts for every 4 hours, or so it will be running for 6 times in a day. Okay. So based on the requirement of the clients only, we do provide our services, right? So these all are the advantages and very few disadvantages of Selenium. So once you work with Selenium, you'll become so comfortable with Selenium that you would always like to work on Selenium itself. Okay. And right now there is a huge demand in the market, because post COVID, a lot of businesses have gone online. So a lot of businesses have to have some testing on their websites. So, and it is not going to be thing of the past, because right now there is a demand. Tomorrow there is going to be a huge demand again, once again. So all the time we will always have, see, I am there in the industry from past 8 years. So I have seen when Selenium version was 2.0 or 2 point something, okay, 2.6 or 2.7, then I started my journey. And you see how much, not only Selenium, after Selenium also you will learn a lot of things. DevOps you will learn. Okay, and DevOps, not total DevOps, only 2 tools, Git and this Jenkins. These all things you will either you learn once you get into your company, they will teach you. Okay. So these all are the benefits of coming into the IT industry. That too, when you are starting your career with automation testing. Okay. Now you see QTP has been there in the market from very long time. Okay. And it helps us in doing the testing of desktop applications also, and web-based applications also, and web-based applications also. But it is licensed. IBM RFT also is licensed, and it is very heavy license. You know how much we need to pay? It is very heavy. I was working on one of the application 1 year back. It was Prover, and for around 4 people for 1 year, the license was 38,000 euros. No, and that was built on top of Selenium, which is open source. You just have a look. Cost of QTP and RFT is very high, and cost of Selenium is very less or nothing. It is actually okay because it is open source tool. Okay. Now for customer support, you need a dedicated HP support, and here you need a dedicated IBM support. Here total community is available for Selenium. Okay. So who is the member of the community? You will be also member of community. Like you, a lot of people will be working, might be working along with you in the same domain and same software. They might have faced certain issues that you have faced. So you can go ahead and you can see the community support that they are providing. Stack Overflow. Okay, Stack Exchange, not Stack Exchange. There are many websites which acts as a community, and there, if you put even a comma related mistake, you'll get the answer. Okay, and here for QTP, not much of coding knowledge is required, but IBM RFT it is required. In Selenium, you should be very good along with technical capabilities of some or the other programming language. But let me tell you, any programming language that you learn in the industry, every programming language will have two parts, theoretical and programs. These are the two parts, theoretical and programs. Say theoretical part is 80% common, more than 80% it is common in every language. Only syntax related changes are there in every language. Okay. Internally, these languages are different on the architecture level, like how they are built. Every program has to run fast, right? That's why Java came. It came from C language. Okay. It had to execute very fast, and it had to become platform independent. It did not want to execute programs on the operating systems. It wanted to have its own virtual platform on which all the programs will run. So if you have installed JDK, means Java for Linux or Windows or Mac, okay, if in one system, if you have done the programming, in rest of the system also, if you put the same program, it will run. So same way, all the languages will have two parts. And let me tell you, the logical part, the programmatical part is independent of any programming language. Yes. See, I told you 20% is the syntactical changes in theoretical part. After that, whatever the programming that you are doing, that is 100% same for any programming language. Java, it is same. Python, it is same. C# it is same. Ruby, Perl, PHP, everything, everywhere. The logic that you will be applying, the way you will be writing, it will be same. Okay. So if you learn first Python, then what will happen? Jumping onto any heavy languages will be difficult. So what do I mean by heavy? If you learn Java, okay, here lot of things are there to learn, small topics. Every topic is of 5 minutes in Java, and you need not to learn all the libraries that those exist in Java. If I say, when was this battle of Panipat when did it happen? Battle of Panipat or battle of some place. Do I ask you to name each and every individual soldier from that troops? No, right? You don't have to. You just have to understand on a high level, like what all things are important only for that battle. Same way, you just have to understand only high level topics, very handful of topics that you have to study from core Java. And once you are well versed with core Java, which will not take even like more than a weeks of time, once you learn core Java, jumping on to Python will be very easy job. But if you learn Python and then jumping onto Java can be little difficult. Let me tell you, once you are learning Java, and after that, when you are jumping onto Python, you can learn Python or you can understand Python in 1 day itself, or max to max 3 days. So you will be expert in most of the programming language. But my advice always it is that learn one programming language to the core, and it does not take much time. Every topic in Java, if I take example, is a 5-minute topic only. Okay, so let's understand the introduction to locators concept in Selenium. A lot of things we have understood already. Now, if you have to say perform click operation on any button, if you have to write your email ID in one edit box, then you have to write your password in one edit box. Say, for example, if you have written your password in email box. So what will happen? Everyone will be able to see that, Arey, this is the password. Note it down, note it down. So if this guy does not change the password, his systems will be hacked. Okay. So the same way, because whenever you are trying to give the password in the password edit box, it will always be encrypted. No, even you will not be able to see. With the guess only, you just write your password. Okay. So what I meant to say is you will always have to pinpoint. You'll always have to uniquely identify all the elements on the web pages wherever you have to perform the operation, click operation, double click operation, drag and drop operation. You want to copy and paste something, those operations. There are different type of elements. Now to identify those web elements, we need to understand XPath. XPath is a way of finding out how do we look at those web elements. Okay, and there is an expression of XPath, and you will become very much pro into this because it is not one day concept. Okay. And there is a perfect chronology that has to be built. First staircase, second staircase, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and then you will reach on to the eventually 120 staircases. Okay, on the top you will be reaching. So there is a perfect chronology that you will have to go through it. But let me give you a high level example. First of all, XPath, it is important strategy to locate elements in Selenium. And XPath is a language with the help of which we try to locate the web elements in XML documents. That is why the name is X, from XML X. Okay, and we are trying to locate using certain path. That is why it is XPath. Okay. Now it consists of path expressions along with certain conditions, and those conditions, not only conditions we also give functions, we also give inbuilt functions, we also give conditions like and, or, a lot of things we will be using. So you'll get to understand a lot of parts from this. Okay. Now what is XML document? See, HTML document and XML document. Whenever you hit www dot whatever the website name it is, when you hit that URL, one request goes to the server. Response, one packet of information comes to your laptop, and it gets installed in your browser. And that once it installs, say you have hit amazon.com. Okay, so Amazon web page will open up. So in a response, one Amazon HTML page came and it got downloaded in your browser. Okay, same way in response certain time, XML document also comes. Okay, and XML documents actually holds the data. So XML documents structure looks like this, similar to HTML. See, angular brackets. In angular brackets, say we are writing bookstore, and book category is equal to cooking. And for one book category, this is the title, this is the author. Okay, so this book and this book, this has closed. Here it should be /, then book category is equal to children. So there are two types of books, cooking and children. And the title of the book is Harry Potter and author is J.K. Rowling. And here the another book was Everyday Chinese, K.S. Bose. Okay, so these, if you see the tree structure, how would it look like? See, XML tree structure, the first bookstore was there, and then two categories will come, cooking category and children category. Now in this, title will be there and author is there. For each one of them, title is there and author is there. So if you have to just locate J.K. Rowling and you are over here on the bookstore, how will you come? How will you come? Bookstore. Okay, like this. From bookstore, you will come like this. See, from bookstore, you will come to the children category. And then from the children category, you will go to J.K. Rowling. Okay, this is how you will traverse the path. So if you go and if you write an XPath expression, you do not try to understand fully everything over here. You do one thing, you just try to understand this. See, / means we are going to the child. So for bookstore, this is the child. And for book, title and author are children. So how I'm writing bookstore / go to book. But boss, we have two types of book where one category is equal to cooking and one book is category is equal to children. So I'm just saying that bookstore, go to book, and in that book, that attribute that attribute category is equal to children. So go into children. This is @ symbol to show that this is an attribute. Category is an attribute. Okay. These all things we'll get to learn. Equals to children. Now, this is what you have, by giving this much of information, you have found out which book you have to go. And after that, go to the author section. So this is how we write it. And this is very, very simple, guys. This is very, 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 very simple. It is just that we need your very small amount of time just to focus, and we can guarantee that you will be hero. Okay, you will be hero, you will be pro at eventually once you learn all of these things. See, once this gets solved, once this expression gets solved, okay, this will appear. You wanted to locate this one. This is how we write our XPaths. Now, benefits of writing any XPath. See, there are many. It is the queries are actually compact. They are easily parsed, and even you can understand, if you want to understand any of the queries, even you can understand just by looking at the expressions. Okay, so you just have a look. Now, there are n number of benefits of XPaths, even when you are writing any locator like XPath, and when you hand over your code to the client, it so happens that your scripts will not fail just because you have written XPath for 3, 4, 5 years, until and unless there are changes in the code. So this is the benefits of XPath. And now syntax and terminologies, if you just want to understand, see, this is XPath equals to, this is known as select an attribute. This is tag name, whatever the HTML tag name that you want to use. Over here, we will write HTML tag name. And after that, we will write @ symbol to showcase that we are going into one of the element. This is attribute equals to, that attribute will have certain values. So it was what? Book. Here, tag name was book. @ category was the attribute, and that category was holding some value. That value was children book. So there are many types of XPath. Okay, what do we prefer mostly is, out of these two types of XPath, absolute XPath and relative XPath. Absolute XPath is odd. If you try to auto generate any XPaths, automatically from the top of the page or from top of the page, one by one, if you are going, okay, like that, if any type of XPath is there, that is absolute XPath. And the type of XPath that we were writing right now, that was relative XPath. Pinpoint, bullseye, uniquely you are trying to locate that web element. See, this is how our XPath, absolute XPaths looks like. HTML, you are starting from the starting node itself, then going into body, then div1, select section, div1, like this. This address, if you give it to someone, okay, and you are not pinpointing any of the references of certain places in the web page where you can give a hook, like go to this point, okay, so that the script does not fail. So these type of XPaths are actually known as absolute XPaths. It is a direct way to find out the web element, but it has a very big disadvantage that throughout a time or within next script run, this might fail. So what do? We actually focus more onto the relative XPath, the one that you have seen just now. Thank you so much for giving me your precious time.